Thomas Jenkins adjusts his navy sweater in the rearview mirror of his meticulously maintained 2010 Toyota Corolla. At 72, his dignified appearance reflects decades of professional success, though his choice of transportation remains practical. The morning sun glints off luxury motors' pristine windows as he eases into a parking spot, taking a moment to admire the row of Mercedes-Benz vehicles gleaming in the showroom. His weathered hands grip a leather portfolio containing research on the latest S-Class model. After months of contemplation, he's decided to reward himself with his dream car. The automatic doors glide open, releasing a burst of climate-controlled air into the autumn morning. The showroom's marble floors reflect the overhead lights, creating an atmosphere of exclusivity. Thomas pauses near a metallic silver S-Class, his fingers hovering reverently above its sleek hood. The vehicle represents not just luxury, but a lifetime of achievement, from his breakthrough engineering patents to his successful consulting firm. He notices his reflection in the car's polished surface. Silver hair neatly trimmed, sweater pristine, and leather shoes buffed to a shine. The bustling showroom activity suddenly diminishes. Sales representatives, previously energetic with other customers, become intensely focused on their computer screens or engage in hushed conversations. Thomas maintains his composure, having encountered similar situations throughout his career. He continues studying the vehicle's specifications displayed on the adjacent placard. A young couple enters the dealership, and two salespeople immediately approach them with warm smiles and firm handshakes. Thomas observes this interaction in the car's tinted windows while pretending to examine its elegant lines. 20 minutes pass as he walks the showroom floor, studying various models, yet no one approaches him. Finally, Harold Matthews, a junior salesperson, reluctantly makes his way over after receiving pointed looks from his colleagues. His greeting lacks the enthusiasm shown to other customers. "Sir, can I help you find the used car section? It's just around the corner." Thomas turns, meeting Harold's gaze with quiet dignity. Actually, he responds in his measured baritone, "I'm interested in the new S-Class. I've been researching its features extensively." He opens his portfolio, revealing detailed notes and specifications. Harold shifts uncomfortably, glancing toward the sales manager's office. "Well, these vehicles are quite expensive. Perhaps I could show you something more suitable?" The suggestion hangs in the air, heavy with unspoken assumptions. The few other customers in the showroom pretend not to notice the exchange, but Thomas catches their furtive glances. He's walked this path before, in corporate boardrooms, at country clubs, and now here. His expression remains unchanged, but his grip on the portfolio tightens slightly. Just then, sales manager Marcus Green emerges from his office, assessing the situation with a practiced eye. He makes his way over, his designer shoes clicking against the marble floor, ready to handle what his team clearly considers a potential disruption to their morning. The pristine showroom falls into an uncomfortable silence as Marcus Green approaches Thomas with a practiced smile. The sales manager's Italian leather shoes echo against the marble floors, his crisp suit a stark contrast to Thomas's casual attire. "Is there a problem here, Harold?" he asks, barely acknowledging Thomas's presence. Harold shuffles nervously. "Mr. Green, this gentleman was asking about the S-Class." The words come out almost apologetically, as if the very notion was absurd. Thomas stands quietly, decades of experience having taught him to read the subtle language of prejudice. Marcus takes control of the situation, his voice carrying a patronizing tone that attempts to mask its dismissiveness. "Sir, these vehicles start at quite a substantial price point. Perhaps we could direct you to something more." He pauses, searching for a diplomatic word, "practical." Several other customers pretend to be absorbed in their own dealings, but their attention keeps drifting toward the scene unfolding. A young couple who had been enthusiastically discussing finance options with another salesperson now watches with poorly concealed discomfort. Thomas opens his portfolio again, attempting to show his detailed research, but Marcus smoothly interrupts. "Let me grab you a brochure for our C-Class models. They're quite popular and more reasonably priced." Without waiting for a response, he signals to Harold to fetch the materials. The whispers begin to circulate among the sales staff. Third time this month, one mumbles. Always window shopping. Another adds, just loud enough for Thomas to hear. The carefully cultivated atmosphere of luxury and exclusivity now feels suffocating. Marcus returns with a glossy brochure for their entry-level vehicles, holding it out like a consolation prize. Here you are, sir, and if these are still outside your range, I can personally recommend several excellent used car dealerships in the area. Thomas accepts the brochure with steady hands, noting how Marcus avoids direct contact during the exchange. His expression remains dignified, though decades of similar experiences weigh heavily in his eyes. The portfolio containing his extensive research, proof of funds, and impressive financial portfolio remains unopened in his hands. The sales manager's phone rings, and he answers it immediately, turning away from Thomas in clear dismissal. "Excuse me, I need to take this," he says, already walking toward his office. The message is clear. This interaction is over. As Thomas turns to leave, he overhears Marcus's voice carrying from his office. "Don't worry, just another time waster. I handled it." The words float across the showroom, meant to be heard while maintaining plausible deniability. Despite his polite demeanor, Thomas quietly makes his way toward the exit, his measured steps echoing through the now hushed showroom. His Toyota Corolla, though modestly priced, gleams in the late morning sun, a testament to his meticulous care and attention to detail. As he reaches for his car door, laughter drifts from the dealership's large windows. A group of salespeople has gathered near Marcus's office, their animated gestures and poorly concealed amusement leaving little doubt about their topic of conversation. Thomas pauses, his hand resting on the door handle, as fragments of their discussion reach him. Can you believe he thought he could afford an S-Class? One voice carries clearly. Should have seen his face when Marcus showed him the C-Class brochure. Another adds, followed by more laughter. Thomas maintains his composure, a skill honed through decades of similar encounters. Inside his car, Thomas carefully places his unopened portfolio on the passenger seat. The leather folder contains not just research, but proof of his substantial net worth, including documentation of his engineering patents that revolutionized solar panel efficiency. His consulting firm's success and careful investments have made him more than capable of purchasing any vehicle in that showroom. He starts his Toyota, the engine purring quietly, a sound that has accompanied him through countless meetings, innovations, and achievements. As he adjusts his rearview mirror, he catches sight of Marcus watching from the showroom entrance, already engaged with a more promising customer. Thomas's phone buzzes with a text from his daughter Sarah. "How did it go at the dealership, Dad?" The message brings a slight smile to his face as he formulates a plan. Sarah, with her Harvard Law degree and position as a senior partner at her firm, has always encouraged him to stand up against such treatment. Instead of responding immediately, Thomas pulls up the contact information for Luxury Motors' main competitor across town. His fingers hover over the screen as he recalls the business card their sales director had given him at last month's charity gala. The same gala where he had quietly donated $50,000 to local education initiatives. As he drives away from Luxury Motors, Thomas's expression shifts from resignation to determination. Tomorrow would be different. Tomorrow, they would learn the costly lesson of judging someone by their appearance rather than their character. The next morning, a gleaming black Rolls-Royce Ghost commands attention as it glides into Luxury Motors' parking lot. Thomas emerges wearing a bespoke charcoal suit that speaks of quiet wealth, while his daughter Sarah, in a tailored navy pantsuit, exits with a leather briefcase in hand. The showroom buzzes with activity until Thomas and Sarah enter, creating an immediate hush. Marcus Green's smile freezes as he recognizes yesterday's visitor, now transformed. The sales manager approaches with visible uncertainty, his confident stride from yesterday notably diminished. "Welcome back, sir," Marcus manages, his eyes darting between Thomas's impeccable attire and Sarah's commanding presence. "I see you brought company today." Sarah extends her business card, senior partner at Wellington & Associates, one of the city's most prestigious law firms. Thomas speaks with the same quiet dignity as before. "Yes, my daughter Sarah thought she should accompany me today. She handles most of our family's major purchases. The word purchases catches Marcus's attention, his professional mask slipping slightly. Sarah opens her briefcase, revealing detailed documentation of Thomas's achievements, patents that transform solar technology, investment portfolios showing significant wealth, and charitable contributions to major institutions. My father was interested in several vehicles yesterday, she states, her Harvard-trained voice carrying across the showroom. The other salespeople have abandoned any pretense of work, watching the scene unfold. Harold, the junior salesperson from yesterday, appears particularly uncomfortable as Sarah continues. We were surprised by the reception he received, considering his intention to purchase multiple vehicles for our family. Marcus attempts damage control, his voice taking on an ingratiating tone. There seems to have been a misunderstanding. We'd be more than happy to show you our entire collection. But Thomas raises a hand, silencing him mid-sentence. The portfolio from yesterday emerges from Sarah's briefcase, now accompanied by bank statements showing an 8-figure net worth. Marcus's face pales as he realizes the magnitude of yesterday's mistake. The whispers from the sales staff have been replaced by a heavy silence. The color drains from Marcus Green's face as he reviews the documentation before him. His earlier dismissive attitude has vanished, replaced by a dawning realization of his grave misjudgment. Thomas Jenkins isn't just wealthy, he's influential. Sarah methodically presents her father's portfolio, detailing the engineering firm that revolutionized solar technology. The patents alone generated millions, while his consulting work with major tech companies established him as an industry pioneer. Photos show Thomas at technology summits, shaking hands with Fortune 500 CEOs. Marcus attempts to salvage the situation, his voice taking on an obsequious tone. Mr. Jenkins, please allow me to personally show you our finest vehicles, the S-Class you were interested in yesterday. Sarah interrupts him with a raised hand, her legal training evident in her precise delivery. The documentation continues. Charitable donations to major universities, board positions at prestigious tech firms, and investment portfolios that would make any sales manager's head spin. Thomas sits quietly, maintaining the same dignified composure he showed yesterday, while Sarah outlines their original intention to purchase multiple vehicles for their extended family. Other salespeople hover nervously nearby, including Harold, who can't meet Thomas's eyes. The showroom has grown eerily quiet, save for the sound of papers being turned and the occasional nervous clearing of throats. The previous day's whispers and snickers are notably absent. Marcus's desperate attempts to rectify the situation become increasingly transparent. He offers exclusive deals, personal service, and special arrangements, all the courtesies that should have been extended yesterday. Each offer is met with polite but firm silence from Thomas. Sarah closes the portfolio with deliberate slowness, the sound echoing in the quiet showroom. The message is clear. Luxury Motors has irretrievably lost the chance to do business with one of the wealthiest potential customers they've encountered this year. Marcus's face shows he's calculating the commission he's lost, not just on one vehicle, but on several high-end purchases. The other customers in the showroom observe this reversal of fortune with interest, some nodding in understanding as they piece together what must have happened yesterday. The sales staff's earlier arrogance has been replaced by a palpable sense of regret and embarrassment. Thomas graciously declines their sudden enthusiastic sales pitches, rising from his seat with the same quiet dignity he displayed during yesterday's dismissal. I appreciate your renewed interest, he begins, his voice carrying across the hushed showroom. But we've already made other arrangements. Sarah opens her briefcase again, this time retrieving a purchase agreement from Elite Motors, their biggest competitor. The document outlines the sale of 5 luxury vehicles, 3 S-Class Mercedes, a G-Wagon, and a top-of-the-line AMG GT, a total purchase exceeding $800,000. Marcus stares at the paperwork, his face contorting as he calculates the massive commission loss. The other salespeople shift uncomfortably, remembering their snickers and whispers from the previous day. Harold, the junior salesperson, looks particularly stricken as he realizes the opportunity they squandered. Elite Motors treated me with respect from the moment I walked in, Thomas explains, straightening his tie. Their sales team didn't make assumptions about my purchasing power based on my appearance or the car I drove. They asked questions, listened to my needs, and earned my business. Sarah adds professionally, the paperwork has already been processed. The vehicles will be delivered to our family members next week. Her words carry the weight of finality, each syllable punctuating the magnitude of Luxury Motors' mistake. The other customers in the showroom have stopped pretending to look at vehicles, instead watching this masterclass in dignity and consequence unfold. A couple who had been working with another salesperson whispers quietly before gathering their things to leave. Thomas stands, buttoning his suit jacket with practiced ease. Success isn't always about what's visible on the surface, he offers, not unkindly. Sometimes it's about the character beneath. The words hang in the air as Marcus fumbles for a response. The sales manager makes one final, desperate attempt. Mr. Jenkins, perhaps we could discuss future purchases. But Thomas and Sarah are already walking toward the exit, their point made without malice, but with unmistakable clarity. The dealership owner, Richard Turner, bursts through the doors just as Thomas and Sarah prepare to leave. His silver hair and tailored suit mark him as someone used to commanding respect. But today his expression shows genuine concern. "Mr. Jenkins, please," Richard calls out, slightly out of breath from rushing across the showroom. "I've just been informed about what transpired here yesterday and today. I want to personally apologize for this unacceptable treatment." Thomas pauses, turning to face the owner with Sarah at his side. The entire showroom watches as Richard continues, "I built this dealership 30 years ago on the principle of treating every customer with respect. What happened here goes against everything we stand for." Marcus and the other salespeople stand awkwardly to the side as Richard details immediate changes, mandatory sensitivity training, revised customer service protocols, and a complete review of their sales practices. His sincerity is evident, but Thomas listens with measured patience. "Your experience has exposed a serious flaw in our organization," Richard admits, his voice carrying across the silent showroom. "While I can't undo yesterday's disrespect, I want to use this as a catalyst for real change." Sarah interjects professionally, "Mr. Turner, while we appreciate your personal intervention, this incident reflects deeper issues that require more than just corporate policies to address." Her legal background lends weight to her words. Thomas finally speaks, his voice carrying decades of similar experiences. "Change begins with acknowledging the problem. Your dealership turned away a customer based on appearances, losing not just a sale, but also their dignity. That's a cost far greater than any commission." The gathered staff shifts uncomfortably as Thomas continues. "Every person who walks through those doors deserves the same respect, regardless of what they're wearing or driving. That's not just good business, it's basic human decency." Richard nods solemnly, understanding that this moment transcends business. He extends his card to Thomas, not as a sales pitch, but as a gesture of accountability. "I would value your input as we implement these changes," he offers sincerely. The incident at Luxury Motors quickly gains attention as Sarah shares their experience on social media. The post, highlighting Thomas's accomplishments and the dealership's initial treatment, resonates with thousands who have faced similar discrimination. Local news stations pick up the story, featuring Thomas's journey from pioneering engineer to successful businessman. His dignified response to the situation becomes a talking point for broader discussions about customer service and unconscious bias in luxury retail. Elite Motors, recognizing the moment, arranges a special delivery ceremony for the 5 vehicles. Thomas uses the occasion to announce a scholarship fund for minority engineering students, matching the amount he spent on the vehicles. Richard Turner, true to his word, implements comprehensive changes at Luxury Motors. The dealership partners with diversity consultants to create new training programs, with Thomas serving as an advisory board member. Marcus Green and several staff members are required to complete extensive retraining. The story catches the attention of other luxury retailers, prompting industry-wide conversations about customer service practices. Several high-end dealerships reach out to Thomas for guidance on improving their approach to customer interactions. Sarah's law firm develops a specialized program helping businesses create more inclusive environments. The initiative, inspired by her father's experience, provides legal and practical guidance for companies wanting to prevent similar incidents. Thomas's engineering achievements gain renewed attention, with young entrepreneurs seeking his mentorship. He uses his platform to advocate for judging people by their character rather than appearances, speaking at business conferences about dignity and customer service. 1 year later, luxury motors has transformed its culture. New signs in the showroom read, "Every customer's journey deserves respect." Thomas occasionally visits, not to purchase vehicles, but to observe the lasting impact of that autumn morning when dignity triumphed over prejudice.